Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now, in my life, drinking days, whatever you want to call it, there have been many attempts where I've lasted 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Now, right now it's been 4 years since I took a drink, and I know for a fact that I have solved this problem and I'm never going to drink again. But there have been many failed attempts, and it's usually around the 6-month mark that things can start to get challenging. And I don't want to sugarcoat this video. I want to give you some of the raw truth about what can happen to you at 6 months. Some people it's going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. It can vary, but it's around the 6-month mark that there's a switch in mindset. And I've seen this happen, people that I've spoken to, I've seen them around the 6-month mark just kind of slip up. And what I want to do for you in this video is I want to talk to you about what really happens at that mark and how you can prepare for it. I truly believe that this video has the power to save somebody's life. Like, I really believe in this stuff. And if I could go back in time and talk to myself just before I made those failures, this is the lessons that I would have given to that younger version of me. So I think you guys will absolutely love this video. And just before we get into it, if you actually want my personal help stopping drinking and you want to join the Sober Clear program, where we use first principles thinking and have a community of business owners, of professionals, of like-minded individuals, please click the link in the description. You can book a call with me and we can see if the program could be a good match for you. So there'll be a few questions to answer, then you'll see a calendar and you can choose a time to speak. So more information on that in the description below, but back to the video. So like I was saying, during my days, I've had many attempts to stop drinking alcohol. Now, what typically has happened in the past is, the first few days, they might be a little bit challenging. Sometimes they weren't, sometimes they were. But after, kind of like a week of not drinking alcohol, the benefits start to really show up, right? You just know that after a week, it's kind of cleared from your system, the sleep's starting to improve a little bit, the energy's starting to come back, the clarity's starting to reappear in your life, and you're starting to feel quite good. And then what typically happens is it just keeps going, like things just keep slowly getting better and better and better. Especially if you take the approach that I recommend, where it's really just about focusing on the future as soon as you stop drinking and getting back to the gym and doing these bits and pieces. If you really focus on that stuff, life just gets better, and it gets better pretty fast. It can be pretty dramatic. I've seen people drop 20, 30 pounds of body weight in just a few short months. I've seen people's relationships just get back together very, very quickly. We can see huge changes in our life in the first few months. And it can feel very good and very exciting and very exhilarating. And it's like this upward trajectory that feels really, really good. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that just continue on that trajectory. Things just get better and better and better. Yet in my experience, what kind of happens is you get this really good feeling, and then a couple of months passes and you really start to realize, like, okay, things are going good, but sometimes we hit a bit of a wall. What we stop doing is we stop thinking about the bad days. We stop thinking about what it was really like when we were drinking. Now, during that first kind of few months, it's fresh in our mind. We can remember what things used to be like. So the contrast is severe. Yet as time passes, we can often start forgetting about the bad times, and then progress can start to feel like it's going a bit slower. And what we do is we kind of zoom in and focus on the micro. We might get 3 months in and then we look back at the previous month and progress didn't feel as fast. It didn't feel as different and exciting as it did in the first few months. But things are still going in the right direction, right? We still know that we're making progress and things are going well, but it just doesn't feel as epic as it maybe did before. And then time passes and then this progress just kind of feels like it's just kind of leveling out and there aren't any major changes happening. But things are still really good. Like, we've got our health back, our relationships are going well, we've got our energy, we've got our clarity. It's not that things are bad, things are actually really, really good, but progress might feel a little bit slow. Or what also might happen is you might feel like, wow, like I'm in a great place now. It's been 6 months, things are going really, really well. Then what happens? Well, I can only really speak from experience, but many times I've got to a great place in my life without alcohol. What's interesting is every time that I turned back to alcohol, it was never because I was in a bad place. When I was in a bad place, there was a fire under my butt to fix things. I had to just get things moving. I had no choice. But when things were going extremely well, that's when the chatter started coming in my mind. That's when it was, oh, Leon, things are going well now. You could go back to controlling it again. Maybe you could just drink tonight and then go back to working on your personal training business, doing your fitness stuff, having your great relationship, whatever it was at the time. The chatter would start. And it wouldn't start because things were bad. It would start because things were going good. But because progress started feeling slow, it didn't feel as rapid as it did at the beginning, you start to feel like, well, what have I got to lose? Without fail, every single time that I've had this conversation with myself and drank again, all the progress that I made just slowly slipped away. It wasn't maybe dramatic, it didn't slip away in an instant, but I would always add the weight back on, my confidence would go down again, my energy would go down again, and I'd always get back to a place where I was like, I did it again. But I believe that this would often happen when I would feel like I wasn't making great progress anymore, but things were going good. Now, obviously, this time that I've stopped drinking alcohol has been the longest that I've ever been without drinking in my life. You know, it's almost been 4 years. But I wish that I knew that if I had just persevered past the feeling where it might have not felt as exciting anymore or as interesting anymore, if I had just pushed past that and gone a few more months, I would have had a breakthrough. Because that's what I feel like happens. I feel like progress is always going in the right direction, but it feels, it's never kind of just going perfectly upwards, right? If we zoom in, it's kind of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's going in the right direction. But what happens is we kind of zoom into the micro. We zoom into the short events, the week where it might not have been perfect, and we make our decisions based on the micro. I never really looked at the big picture, and that would just make me think that I can go back to controlling it and I'd slip up again. And like I said, I just wish that I had known that if I had persevered, there would have been a breakthrough. And that's truly what's happened this time. Because I stuck with it, because I pushed past that 6-month mark, that year mark, and I just kept going, great things started happening. This business has come out of not drinking alcohol. This YouTube channel, helping all of these people, has come out of not drinking alcohol. And things just keep getting better. But I really believe the trick is when you're at that 6-month mark, maybe 9 months, maybe 3 months, different times for different people, is if that chatter starts, recognize it. If you can see yourself starting to justify and rationalize going back to the old way of things, take a second, zoom out, look at the big picture, look at all the progress that you've already made. Yeah, do you know what? The past few weeks, the past month might not feel like it was rapid progress. But remember that everything's been going in the right direction. And if you continue, there will be a point where you have a breakthrough. There will be a point where things just start accelerating again. Things start getting better and better again. Life's not always going to be up, right? There's going to be ups and downs whether you drink or not. And that's okay. But I promise you that if you stick on this path, it'll be the best thing that you have ever done in your life, bar nothing. For me, it was the ultimate decision that has just changed my life in every single way. And hopefully this message is going to inspire you to stick on this path and keep going. Have a great day.